See if we're going. We should be going. If we're not going already, then we should be going in a few minutes. And just checking, guys. Just checking to see if we are in fact going. If you can hear me, hello. If you can, let me know so that I know I'm not just talking to myself. Yep, there we are. Okay. Hi, friends. Welcome to the live stream. I am waiting on Veronica to join the broadcast, and hopefully she will very soon. So in the meantime, I will just shoot the crap with you while we wait. How have you been? What have you been up to? How was your holiday? If you celebrated day of too much food and excess and colonization and all of that terrible stuff, but with cornbread. If you did any of that, let me know, and that way we give our co-host a few chances, a little bit of time to join. I will tell you while we're waiting, I did myself a little bit of a Noir-vember, of which I forgot to mention on any of the recent episodes that we've been recording. But during the month of November, I did a Noir-vember where I looked at some of the, what do you call them? Old Hollywood noir classics that you see on Turner Classic Movies. I forgot that you have access to that through HBO. So I kind of took in a few of those during the month of November and really enjoyed them. I watched a lot. I really strived to watch a lot during the month of November. And I will tell you some of my favorites, my top 3 that I enjoyed last month were Where Danger Lives, which has a young Robert Mitchum. I forget the year it came out, but it's called Where Danger Lives. 1949's Tension. I liked that a lot. And then 1946's Nobody Lives Forever. And I don't remember who's in Tension or who's in Nobody Lives Forever, but I enjoyed those. I also watched something called, I want to say it's Highway 301, which it's like it deals with like a real life crime gang. I forget what they're called. There's a name to them, but of the ones I watched, probably the most, kind of gruesome for its time. So yeah, if you have HBO and you have access to HBO, then you have that little pocket of movies that are available through the Turner Classic Movies page on that. And so I was able to watch some of those noir movies, which was nice for me. I'm new to the genre, as I said on our Suburban Dicks book club episode. Film noir is not really something I'm. Hello. I was just telling the people about my noir.
Hello, sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. We've barely begun. I was vamping, as they say.
I always have technical issues when I'm trying to use my husband's laptop. Ooh, sorry.
You're fine. I was just vamping and talking about how I forgot to tell you any of the recent recordings we've done that during the month of November, I was watching a lot of film noir, Veronica, because Noir-vember, that's what I was going for. Noir-vember. Anyway, I just saw you, so I don't feel like I don't feel like I know I don't know what's going on with you.
Well, I feel compelled to say that I am still getting over a head cold, so there's going to be coughing. Just letting you know, I can't help it.
Yeah. Did you teach today?
And I'm still very nasally. Yes, and I taught yesterday. Yeah. 2 classes this morning, actually.
Did you take a shower? You look fresh.
When I got back this morning.
Yeah. Well, I don't really have any, since you just saw me too, I don't really have anything new to report. Ron, I was going to tell you this. I made guess what I showed the kids this morning. Guess what they watched? The Last Unicorn.
Oh,
I showed them The Last Unicorn.
Were there any tears?
No, I mean, like the youngest he was like, well, it was, I liked it, but it was sad. And I was like, well, not really. It isn't sad. Like she turns back to what she's supposed to be, and it's okay. But but I get what his feelings are, because what I was remembering, I remember what recently Ronnie and I were texting, maybe within the last year or two. We were texting about The Last Unicorn. And I had internalized that it was sad. And she had to remind me that it doesn't end sad. Like, I seem to have internalized that the unicorns don't come back, but they do. She reminded me
Mhm.
about that. But I think what I internalized as being sad, which I think he did also, is that it's sad that it's like she's back to being a unicorn, but it's like she forever has to hold this grief in her heart, her
Mhm.
regret, her, whatever, sadness. So I'm sad for her. She knows heartbreak.
But then she'll also know the value of happiness because of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm. And
So
she's
anyway,
grown. She's grown in a way that most unicorns don't ever get to grow because they don't have those experiences. Our experiences are what make us.
yes. Yeah.
Mm.
It was, so one thing that Leah oldest was weirded out by, and that I guess I also had forgotten. I had forgotten how much song is in that cartoon. They break out in song a lot, Ron.
Do they? I don't remember.
um, Walking Man's Road, like just old, early 80s, late 70s esque
Who did the
songs.
music?
You have to go back and watch it. It's
Is it?
so,
I
talk
have the
about
book. I
a
need to get like one of the newer editions of the book. The book also ends, and it's been a few years since I read it. Uh, because the prince, whatever, I can't remember his name, and obviously
Prince.
Amalthea
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
is really a unicorn, so that was never going to work. And actually, I like that. I like that it didn't get the
Yeah.
Disney-fied version where she
They
goes back to being a unicorn, and he goes on, and he leaves his father's kingdom, and along the way, he meets a princess, and I don't remember exactly. I mean, it doesn't. It kind of ends there where he meets her, uh, but it just gave you the sense that if not her particularly, at least he was going to find happiness again also because life goes
somebody.
on.
Yeah, because the cartoon doesn't cover that. The cartoon
No,
just, like, he goes off and, like, that's it. She goes
yeah.
home and that's the end. So that's nice. He finds love again. That's
Well, I
good.
mean, it just
The
kind of hints at the
potential for love.
possibility
Yeah, the
that
potential for love.
life goes on and you can find happiness again.
No, I mean, not that the characters break out into song, but there's a lot of music in it. And so,
Try to who did the music for that? Now you've got me curious.
you remember, like, the opening song, right? Like, of the last
Yeah.
unicorn. I don't know the words, but yeah, the Alex, my spouse, people, for those who don't know, he'd never seen it. I was like, "How have you never seen it? Even I've
Oh,
seen it. How have you never seen it?" He never saw it. So he watched a little bit of it. He didn't get to finish it cuz he had other stuff to do, but yeah, I finally showed them that. The oldest still wants to watch The Hobbit, the Hobbit cartoon. And I don't remember when that one came out. I think that was the one I told you once I tried to start with them and I just got too tripped out by it. I was like, I can't do this, guys. I can't.
okay.
But
So the music was composed by Jimmy Webb, but the lyrics were sung by the band America,
mm,
and it was something
okay.
with an A. I was going to say Asia, but
Yeah. America, which was
another
like, what
continent.
was that, like, a band you'd heard of prior to that cartoon? Is that that's
Yeah,
not?
I mean, I think it was a band from like the 70s, kind
So
of.
I didn't realize The Last Unicorn came out the year I was born. It came out in 1982. So how old? Well, you don't have to divulge your age, but yeah, you were of age that you would have. Did you see it in theaters? Like, what was the deal with that? You in that movie?
No, I don't think. Did I see it at theaters? I don't remember when I swear I saw it first.
Okay, well,
But
my friends, welcome to the live stream. This is our final live. Oh, I haven't even introduced the show. Let's do that. Hold on. Hey, everybody, welcome back. This is Don't Watch at Night, a spooky little podcast dedicated to Spanish language horror and Latin American horror. I'm your host, Valerie.
and I'm Veronica.
Yeah. Hey, everyone. It's like a full 10 minutes in. Okay.
Mm.
So yes, this is our final live stream of 2025, and it's essentially us ringing in the holiday season with you guys. So, one of the things I sent Veronica, I'm not giving her a quiz. I think I send her into a panic every time I give her a quiz. This isn't a quiz. This is just a bit of Hollywood um, horror movie trivia that I thought would be fun for us to look at together. and I'm going to share my screen so that you can see it. So, useless horror film trivia brought to us by horrorsociety.com. So, if you look at the first one, Ron, and for those of you watching on the live stream, you're seeing what I'm sharing. I'm sharing my screen. So, Black Christmas, which is a film that came out in 1974. I think I had heard this before on another horror podcast, that the audio for the demented phone calls was edited into the film during post production. So while shooting the footage for those phone call scenes, the actresses were actually just reacting to the dialogue being spoken from the director off
Wait, what
camera.
movie is this?
Black Christmas.
Black Christmas.
I've never seen it, but I've heard of it, and I've listened to horror podcasts where they've covered this movie. 1974. Isn't this, Ron? Hold on. Isn't Black Christmas star? Hold on, everyone. Yeah, it stars Olivia Hussey, who I only know from Romeo and Juliet.
Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, she was in that one. I think that's
She
the only
also
thing I ever saw.
played Jesus' mother, Mary.
That's right. Yeah, I remember the Romeo and Juliet. But yeah, I'd forgotten that was like
And she was also in oh shoot, Death on the Nile, the original.
Oh,
yeah.
Agatha Christie. Is that Death on the Nile? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The something Nazareth, was that a made for TV movie?
I don't know. It might have been a movie.
Okay. I do remember it. Now that you bring that up, I do remember her.
I think it was a cinema movie.
Okay. So then next up, and these, by the way, these are all like, if I didn't say it before, these are all holiday editions. So it's all going to be holiday movies. Silent Night, Deadly Night, which came out in 1984. That opened the same weekend as Nightmare on Elm Street, which came out the same year. It briefly outdid Nightmare on Elm Street. Before profits ultimately fell by the second weekend. I guess Nightmare on Elm Street at that point took over. That same year, 1984, was when Gremlins came out. That's crazy that all three of those came out around the same time. That's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see Gremlins in theaters, Ron?
I don't remember.
Okay, well,
that was all too long ago.
Yeah. So Zach Galligan revealed in an interview that when the movie came out, obviously there wasn't CGI, so all the gremlins were animatronics, and each one cost 30 to 40,000 pounds. Why does it say USD and then it has the pound symbol? I don't know. So anyway, when everyone left the lot for the day, security would have everyone pop the trunks on their cars to make sure they weren't stealing the gremlins. Oh, and then there was Silent Night, Deadly Night 2, which came out in 87. Okay, so here's the situation with that one. Fun trivia. When Eric Freeman played the role of Ricky, he had a strong eyebrow movement in his performance. He moves his eyebrows up and down in total of 130 times. I've never seen the Silent Night, Deadly Nights. Jack Frost. Some of these aren't very terribly interesting. That was Shannon Elizabeth's first acting role.
Who is she? I don't even know who she is.
I think she was in I'm looking her up real quick. Yeah, you're not gonna know her. She's from American Pie. She was in the American Pie movies. Jack Frost was her first role. Jack Frost 2, Revenge of the Mutant Killer Snowman. It ran the entire 4 weeks of shooting for that movie, resulting in a tropical island with an amazing lack of sun. Then in 2005, there was Santa's Sleigh. And the old book that explains the origin of Santa Claus is written in Icelandic. Some believe that parts of the Santa mythos are taken from Norse legends. Then there was the remake for Black Christmas, which came out in 2006. I didn't see that one either. But let's see. Andrea Martin, who played Phyllis in the original, said in an interview that she hadn't thought about Black Christmas for 32 years, and it came out of the blue when Glenn Morgan offered her the role as the house mother in the movie. Let's see. Okay, 2 more. Silent Night, 2012. It's partially inspired by the real-life Covina Holiday Massacre, which took place on Christmas Eve in 2008. I haven't heard about that at all. Covina Holiday Massacre? I'm going to have to go digging on that one. And then our last little bit of trivia, 2012's Caesar and Otto's Deadly Xmas. Judith O'Dea was offered the role of Roberta, but turned it down. I don't know any, full disclosure, I haven't seen any other than Gremlins. I haven't seen any of these movies. I don't typically do Christmas horror. Um, although since starting this movie or starting this podcast, I was thinking about Krampus the other day. Remember how we watched Krampus last year?
Mhm.
We enjoyed that one. I'm gonna try and look for it this year and see if I can convince the older kids to watch it because I think they would potentially enjoy it. So, but yeah, other than Gremlins, I haven't seen any of those. So I just thought that would be fun to for those of you who do dabble in holiday horror to take a look at. Um, okay. You got anything else you wanted to mention up top, or are you ready to get to the movie?
Nope, we're ready.
Okay, you take it away.
All right. So usual disclaimer: there will be spoilers. So if you haven't watched the movie, go check it out, and then you can come back and pick up where you left off. But
Mhm.
for the movie this time around, we watched 2023's "You Are Not Alone." Of course, the Spanish title "Tú no eres yo." Um, Came in at 1 hour 38 minutes. Currently available on Video Prime Video, Amazon Prime Video, at least in the States. Uh, Two directors, directed by Marisa Crespo and Moises Romera, and has a pretty large cast comparatively speaking. Usually our casts are fairly small, but
Yeah.
this one stars Pilar I can't read my writing. Pilar Almeria as Dory, Alvaro Bagena as
Mm.
Oriol, Ana Curica as Nadia, Roser Tapia as Aitana. I'm gonna take a stab at this name. Yapuena, Silva as Gabby,
Mhm.
Pilar Martinez as Pepita, Jonathan Mellar as Nicolas, and Jorge Motos as Saul. And the little blurb for the movie just says Aitana returns home for Christmas the first time after 3 years to find that her parents have replaced her with an unknown woman who is being treated like their daughter. She discovers a disturbing and bloody truth.
Mhm. Mhm. How long was it? An hour? Did you
Hour
already say
and
this?
38 minutes.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right, Valerie,
Yeah.
so first impressions.
I mean, it's not. It's not what it, I was pleasantly surprised because when I watched the trailer, I watched the trailer. Ronnie never watches the trailer, so I gave it a look, and it looked disturbing, and especially just coming off of. I think Ronnie and I are both kind of going through a little bit of like end of year fatigue, where it's just like I can't watch any more traumatic movies. So when I watched the trailer, I was like, oh man, I don't know about this. So I prepped her. I was like, Ron, this could be a little weird, FYI. And then thankfully, it wasn't there was some weirdness to it, but it definitely wasn't as dark as I thought it was gonna go, so I was grateful for that. Ultimately, all in all, I enjoyed it for what it was, but different than what I thought it was gonna be. How did
Okay.
you feel about it?
Well, I had no expectations,
Yeah,
obviously.
she went in
In
blind.
fact, I didn't even know it was set at Christmas, and I wouldn't even say it had a strong Christmas feel to it.
Yeah, 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 no.
Even though this is all happening, I think on like Christmas Eve,
Yeah,
she gets to
yeah,
there.
yeah.
But I wouldn't say it has like I wouldn't say that you feel the Christmas
Spirit.
atmosphere in the movie. So I went in with zero expectations. Didn't even know what it was about. Um, and I mean, I thought it was okay. I did think it kind of drug it out a little long. I was like, okay, let's move it along here, people. Let's get
Yeah.
to a point.
Right, right, right.
Um, but I mean, I thought overall it was pretty good. I have some thoughts on maybe like the last 15 to 20 minutes, but we can get there.
Yeah, I mean that's the same kind of note I had and that others had, based on the resources that we've linked for you guys. Because it was like what the final 20 minutes of this film, and I was just like, where are we going with this? Like, what is the climax gonna be? What is the plot twist gonna be? And I thought I had my ideas. Did you have inklings of what you thought this was gonna be? Like,
Um, not not at first. Uh, it really wasn't until all the dinner guests start arriving, and I was thinking, okay, is this like vampires? Is this like some
I
kind
was
of
thinking cannibals. I was like,
cannibal?
I was straight up thinking cannibals.
No, I was thinking like, is this some kind of like because when they were referring to that old man at the head of the table, whoever his name is, as father, I was thinking, okay, is this like a vampire clan?
Uh-huh,
And
uh-huh.
but then I was like, but they're all really old.
It's just old people old people cult is what I called it. The old people cult, which felt a little bit like that part of it felt like Rosemary's Baby, just like old people cult. You
Mhm.
don't trust a bunch of old people getting together.
So then I thought
um,
that's when I started thinking that that was going to go in that direction. There was like, vampires or it's some kind of, creepy cult type thing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know what it was like during the watching of it, I felt like I could have told you so strongly why I felt a certain way about this, but I really genuinely did think cannibal. I don't know why. I think just because like there were so many there weren't so many, but there were key references to meat eating and preparation, like, when they bring out the pig for dinner, and it's not even a pig, it's a piglet that's expected to feed a huge dinner party, like, that piglet wouldn't feed the
That
full
was just
party.
very unappetizing looking. I mean,
But I was just thinking, I was like, because initially I thought, "Okay, maybe they are grooming Nadia for some, like, youth ritual, like, she's gonna breed," they're cultists, and they believe that she's gonna bring some fountain of youth. But then I thought, "No, if that's not it, what else could it be? They're gonna eat her." And I was like, "That's what they're prepping her for." So the whole time I was
when
just like,
they
"It's a
when they
cult."
called her up, like near the end of the party, I guess, when they called her up to make a toast and for her to speak, that's the first time I started to get an inkling of like she's some kind of sacrifice for
Right,
whatever
right,
this is,
right.
that's going on.
Th
Um,
this is
I
not gonna
did
be
want
good.
to they like what was her partner's name? Aitana's
Gabby?
Gabby.
Uh-huh.
Like, how clueless can you be that you're not picking up on all this weirdness that's going on with the family? It's like,
Yeah.
are you paying attention?
Well, and it's like,
Get your baby and get out of there.
so to set people up for anyone who hasn't seen this movie, Aitana and
Mhm.
Gabby show up with their adopted son whose name um,
Starts with a J. I don't
J
know.
Jowl
Joe,
Jowl
Jow,
Jowl,
something.
adopted baby, and they show up as a surprise to her family who she's kind of estranged from because I think she's just sort of like they're very ultra conservative. She's, obviously with her partner and I think at one point she must have been you get the sense that she was engaged, she was gonna get married.
Yeah, she ran out on that wedding,
So
apparently.
she's just in their eyes, she's a disappointment, and so she thinks, that she's gonna show up and they'll reconcile, and it just from the jump, they're just weird. They're weird and they're hostile to her in such a way that I'm like, a lot she tries to leave multiple times, and Gabby's like, "What are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Let's,"
I'm like,
she's trying to
okay.
be respectful, but I'm like, "No, at a certain point, leave, like, get out, go."
Which I do have to say, considering that Aitana has been, by her own choice, not seen her parents in 3 years, like,
Mhm.
why would you expect that just showing up unannounced on Christmas Eve of all days is gonna be a good idea? Like,
Right. Yeah.
I understand wanting to reconnect and, because she's a mother now, she's got, she and her partner have this baby. So I understand the need to want to reconnect with family. Although
Yeah.
apparently she's been talking to her brother at least on the phone,
Yeah, yeah.
uh, but not so much with her parents. But like,
No, I had the
ease
same
into it and maybe don't do it on,
yeah, I
don't
had
do it
this
unannounced. Like, give
I
people some
right, right. I had the
a
same
lead
note.
in.
I had the same
Mhm.
note. I wrote this. I wrote 35 minutes in, I'm currently torn between acknowledging that the way her family is acting is indeed weird, but also it's like maybe you're being unreasonable in what you're expecting coming back into the scene, like maybe adjust your expectations a
Yeah.
bit.
I mean, maybe maybe you should have planned to visit like on maybe I mean, holidays are always stressful as it is under the best circumstances. They can be tense family times and when you haven't like been involved in someone else's life for 3 years and you choose that's the day you choose to come and reinsert yourself.
So there was a
Yeah.
there was a note that I made. So cuz I was just making notes. So like halfway 30 minutes into the movie, I was clocking 30 minutes into the movie, Veronica. I don't know if you notice this, but there's some establishing scenes where Aitana is walking around holding the bottle that she's warmed up for the baby.
Mhm.
And she's just walking around holding this bottle. And I'm like, when are you gonna go feed the baby the bottle? Like, the
Mm.
baby is just hanging out all this time without the bottle. Every time she, like, walked through a different part of the house still holding the bottle, I'm like, "Go feed the baby." I don't know, I just made that note. I was like, "Ma'am, your baby is starving. Please go give
Mm.
him the bottle that you warmed up, like, 20 minutes ago." Let's see, what else? What else?
What did you make of the beginning scene where they're driving, like, with the pigs? Like, what was
Yeah.
that?
I felt like that was a sense of foreboding, but I don't know what about, like, she sees a pig. First of all, she almost runs, as she says later, she almost runs over a pig and then they veer off the road. But then she sees a pig that's all bloody. And I don't know what that's about. I feel like it was foreshadowing, obviously, but it's like, what is it foreshadowing? I don't know. So, because the pig, a pig, makes this an entrance later on in the movie, again, all
Mhm.
bloodied, and you're like, what is this all about?
See, I thought she had hit that pig, like,
Oh,
maybe
okay.
just
That
glanced
one?
it with the car, and that's why it was bloody, but, yeah, I
Yeah.
don't understand what that and then when it shows up later even more so, I was like, "What?" Because it's clearly not the pig they ate because that was a
No.
big pig,
It was a
like a
big pig, and then,
full-grown.
like, the pig they
Yeah.
served was this little piglet, and again,
Just
I'm
that was
just
so
like,
disgusting.
it was
I'm not even
disturbing.
vegetarian, and that would turn me off.
That was in the trailer, and that was like, "Oh, I don't know where this is going." But but, um but I was just thinking, I was like, that little piglet wouldn't serve that big dinner party." And so then when they're dishing out the plates of meat to everybody, I'm like, "No way. You don't get that much meat off that piglet." So, um, yeah, but I made that note that it's just like, if I were to go back and watch it again, I would pay closer attention to where the comments of meat and eating meat came in, that just enough of it came through, that I was just, as I was trying to piece together what these people might be in a club about, I was just
Mhm.
thinking, well, maybe they're cannibals, maybe that they're going to eat Nadia. I don't know what that would do for them, but maybe, I don't know. Um,
I mean, I did have the question because obviously Aitana, she discovers that Nadia is this woman that's apparently been living with her parents, and her parents have just kind of, by all appearances, have just taken her into their bosom, and they call her, Cariña, and they call her daughter, and you know,
they gave her her
they
room.
give them,
I
the grandmother's, ruby earrings to wear, and they give her Aitana's wedding dress that she was never going to wear anyway
Yeah,
to wear to this party. And so they're just showing her all the, you know, care and attention that you would think they would show to and being, like you said, pretty hostile to their own daughter.
yeah.
Um,
And just being so blatant about it too, like
mhm.
blatantly showing her this affection and stuff. And it's just like, at a certain point, why are you even putting up with it? Just leave. But
And then
yeah,
you find out that having this Christmas party with these people that are coming is out of the norm, that their usual Christmas tradition is for an aunt and uncle to come and spend Christmas with them. And when Aitana finally is able to connect via phone with her aunt, she
mhm,
finds out that they haven't even been to the house in months and months.
yeah,
And so they don't have any knowledge of who Nadia is because they've just kind of been shut out of their life, Aitana's parents' lives for. So you're getting the sense that there is some weirdness going on. And of course, Aitana's focus is on Nadia.
yeah,
And so that actually you as the reader, because you're kind of experiencing this along with Aitana and seeing all this weirdness that she's seeing, and you're led to believe that okay, there's something weird about
no,
Nadia. And
no,
then of
yeah,
course
yeah,
she has that dream which just kind of cements it, that Nadia is the
yeah,
focal point of
yeah,
whatever is off. So it's
yeah,
kind of a red herring
yeah.
because
You think it's gonna be kind of like, Hand That Rocks the Cradle, like she's looking to
mhm,
replace her, or Single White Female. That I'm thinking of that movie. It was just like she's looking to replace her. She's going to do something that is gonna, threaten Aitana's life or whatever. So
yeah, because
yeah,
you,
I
you
mean,
you find out the story that she's just kind of a homeless refugee from Romania. Is that where she was from?
halfway towards the end of the movie, when she's freaked out, she's speaking Romanian. Yeah,
Romania. So she's just kind of this homeless refugee that kind of showed up on their doorstep one day asking, for kind of a work food exchange situation. And so it seems all the more weird that her parents would have just opened their house eventually to this
yeah,
stranger.
yeah,
So
yeah.
So yeah, we're very much easily sucked into thinking, okay, Nadia's the reason for whatever, all
How
this
is it do
oddness.
how is it do you think that her parents even got roped into this cult in the first place? Like, it's just
Well, I think it was just chance meeting. She said that they met Pepita and her husband on a cruise, and
oh,
Pepita started choking at one point, and
that's right,
Aitana's
that's right, that's
father
right.
performed the Heimlich, and so I guess in that, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
they started talking and they became friends, and then at some point, I'm sure Aitana's parents mentioned whatever their son Sal, Aitana's brother, has, which is never specifically divulged, but it's he
yeah,
used to walk, and so I'm thinking maybe like MS or something, or
yeah, some sort of debilitating
ALS, or yeah,
disease,
some
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
disease where
yeah.
he's just lost the ability to walk and he's kind of losing motor function, and just by chance, because what did they say several times? Everything happens for a reason.
Everything happens for a
Um,
reason. Yeah.
they I'm sure posed the, well, we belong to this cult and we can help you with that. And
Um, okay, well, what did you make of the, so, like, as not not as Aitana is getting increasingly more and more paranoid of Nadia, one of the things that the resources we linked for you guys points out, or a lot of them anyway, points out is that the film does a really good job of um, painting the scenes and giving you the vibe that it's like you can't tell what's in Aitana's head versus what's legit. Like, is
mhm,
she just being paranoid? Is this for real? It does not help that she keeps just throwing back red wine when it's like, maybe stop drinking because
mhm,
you are having a hard time staying awake. But she's been drugged, as they all have. But I don't know. What did you think of, like, the party scene when these old people show up, who are all dressed up, by the way? They're all dressed up for a dinner party that seems over the top to me, but I was appreciating it. I was like, "Oh yeah, let's bring back dressing up for dinner." But what did you
that's
make of these
true.
people? These weird people,
Um,
a weird
well,
mix of people.
that's when I was thinking it was. I mean, I honestly was thinking it was some kind of vampires, and then because at some point Gabby brings out their son, their infant son, and everybody, like all these old people, just swarm to
Freak
him.
out. Yeah.
And Aitana's mother is like, "Oh no!" Like she's clearly uncomfortable and wants to remove the baby from this situation. So at least she has that
Yeah.
sense
Yeah.
of, okay, this is
This is a,
this
a
is
bridge too far.
I'm not going to go this far.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
And so that's when I was like, oh, like this is some kind of.
See, that's so funny because you were thinking vampire and I was thinking they want to eat the baby.
But both focused on maybe youth
Yeah.
and trying to appropriate that or steal that somehow, or
Mhm. Mhm.
and I was like, oh God, please don't, not the baby, get the baby out of there.
I was very worried for the welfare of that child throughout the movie because it's just like, number one, it's just the chillest baby ever. Like, they'll set the baby down and then both of them will just leave the baby for long stretches of time to either interact with other adults or whatever. I'm like, it's just the chillest baby in the world that you can just hang out. But yeah, like, at one point, I think Aitana has the vision or something that
Mhm,
Nadia is holding the baby over, like, a ledge and then drops the baby.
mhm,
So, the whole time I was just incredibly freaked out for the child. And especially when that scene you're describing where the old people are fawning over it, I was thinking, "Oh my god." It increased my fears even more for the
mhm.
welfare of that baby because it was like, "Oh my god, they wanna eat the baby."
Well, and
Because
then that scene, at the party when Gabby's been like passed out on the couch for who knows how long, and
yeah.
Saul's kind of out of it in his
And they've been
chair.
given Pepita's liquor, which
Yes,
he makes a
strong
point of
liquor.
referencing.
And, even Aitana's getting kind of bleary eyed, and, Gabby makes, basically says, I'm going to bed. And she goes up and she just falls in the bed and is immediately out. And I'm like, but is the baby there? Because
Right.
they don't really show. And then later on, Aitana goes and falls in the bed with Gabby and conks out. And I'm like, but where's the baby? Show me that he's there.
And then Gabby wouldn't stir, and I'm like, "Oh my god, is Gabby dead? Like, what the
Mhm,
hell?"
mhm.
Um, but yeah, she's just out. They've been drugged. And so when we get to, so what happens is, uh, Nadia hits her what's the word I'm looking for? Her her limit of what she's going to withstand. She's put up with all of the blatant disregard that her parents have shown her. The just the way that they've kind of fawned over Nadia. Nadia's been off and on kind of hostile with her. So she's at her peak level of paranoia where she finally just sort of confronts it, during the toast. She confronts her family, she tells them off, talks to them about this absurd party, and then she and Nadia get into like an actual physical fight. Um
Mhm.
which I thought like this I little sound effects note about that scene. It was a little awkward because I felt like the fighting was effective but the slap sound effects were really not great. Like I went back and rewatched it again because I was like, am I imagining that it sounds that bad or is it it's not the sound effects are not great for the slap effects. It doesn't really it pulls you out of it a little bit. But aside from that, that was like what 20 minutes remaining in the movie or so
Mhm.
or so. So she goes up, she passes out with Gabby and the baby. And then when the baby stirs, the baby's hungry. Aitana goes down to make a bottle, and that's when she hears and stumbles upon Nadia, who's rummaging through coats.
Mhm.
And you can tell that like she's panicked, she's freaked out. And mind you, the last time we saw Nadia, she was passed out on a couch. So, all these hours later, she's freaked out and panicking. And, and Aitana thinks, oh my God, I've caught you in the act. I've caught you stealing. I'm going to
Mhm.
haul you up to my father and show him. And that's when we realize that Nadia's afraid and that people are coming after her. And so at that point, what were you thinking? You were thinking they're going to sacrifice her. She's going to be some kind of,
Yeah, well, I had already thought, like I said before, when they called her up to speak and they were making the toast to her, that she was she was the sacrifice for
yeah,
whatever.
for something. Yeah.
So this whole time, because we'd been kind of going along with Aitana's viewpoint, thinking that Nadia was the cause of the weirdness, but that was, we were being led astray because in the whole time it was this other thing, this cult
Yeah.
of people that
Yeah.
were. But that you said something that triggered something in my head, and now I can't. Oh, because when you were saying that, oh, now I've caught. She thinks she's caught Nadi in the act because there was that one scene even earlier where, um, because she's out in the garden or on the property and she finds that there's these two guys at the fence looking for
Mhm.
Nadia because apparently Nadia's been selling like
Yeah.
some of Saul's drugs to them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And Aitana brings this to her parents' attention, and they just are not receptive at all. They just don't want to hear it. They don't,
Right.
and that was just like really
Yeah. Are you
like you're not willing
so
to entertain
are you so
any.
unwilling? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like what is this hold that this young girl has over you? Like, yeah, it did it was again, it was so blatant and in your face that part of me is just like, I don't know how you put up with it. I thought I'd just get out. But yeah,
but yeah. So in the end, when she finds that, like she sees the level of fear
mhm.
in Nadia, and then it finally penetrates that fog in her brain
Something's afoot. Yeah,
that
something's not right.
okay, this
Yeah.
is genuine. She's genuinely afraid. What is she afraid of? So, um,
Yeah.
what happens next? Oh, Nadia doesn't like. Aitana's like, we have to get out of this
We have to
house
go.
and we have to
And
go.
and
And
Nadia
Nadia's
won't
like,
move.
she's
She's
like
petrified.
terrified. So she
Yeah.
just shuts herself in the closet. And so Aitana locks her in there.
To try to
I'm
keep her
assuming for her own
safe.
protection.
Yeah, to try to keep her safe. And she ventures up to, where they're staying in the Tourette,
Mhm.
to because she's like, "We gotta get out of here." And that's when she noticed the baby is missing, and that's when I was like, "Ugh." It's
Yeah.
like because again, at this point, I'm thinking they're going to eat Nadia. And obviously, in the absence of Nadia, they're going to eat the baby. And then, like, I wrote this note. I was like, but how much can a baby even feed people? Like, it's not enough meat. Like, just leave the baby alone. It's not worth it. So I did run when we get to the end sequence where they're out in the field, and remember how they were calling him Father Nick or Old
Mhm.
Nick. And I was sort of relaying that as like interesting, Father Nick, Saint Nick, like it was like there's a little bit of a tie-in into Christmas, I guess, is like Father Nick and Saint Nick. And although I don't know, he talks about praying to the somebody Baal,
Wow.
Baal, which I think is just sort of, I looked it up. It's just sort of another word for like demon, lord, whatever. So
Mhm.
yeah, Satan, if you want to say it, but
Which I have to say, Bob must not be very on the on the ball.
the
Uh,
ball.
Not very smart because apparently, in order to fix Saul or help him with whatever his medical condition is, Baal needs the sacrifice of a beloved child.
Yeah,
Okay, so as we come to find out, this is the reason why Aitana's parents, took Nadia in so completely and have treated her like a daughter, but it's all superficial. Like none of it's real. They don't
right,
really care about her. They don't
right.
really love her. They're just using her. And so I'm like, okay, Bob, but like they
Can't you
don't
see that?
actually she's not actually beloved and cherished by them.
Yeah.
It's so what kind of sacrifice is she? Like this is not
It's not
so
authentic.
yeah,
This
I'm
is all
like,
a
yeah.
facade. Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you're dumb.
No, yeah, yeah. So that's what the revelation is that it's just like these people are clearly in a cult, as we suspected. But whereas I was thinking they're going to eat her, it doesn't seem like that's where they're going with it at all. They're going to, although still, right up until the end, it was like they're going to feast on her. But she is going to ultimately be the sacrifice to this god because that's what's needed to make Sal well again, or able-bodied again. And so then we see a whole bunch of naked old people.
Didn't really need that to
Like
see
at
that.
first it was just the one dude, and I wrote, I don't want to see, what did I write? I was like, do we all need to be naked for this? Like, do we need to see naked peen, as Veronica would say? But then it's like, yeah, one by one they all disrobe, and I was like, ugh, okay. It's a lot. It's a lot of naked. And it was
And
fun.
and my question is also like, okay, they're all geriatric people. Like there's probably
Yes.
nobody under the age
These are senior citizens.
of 70 in
Yeah.
this. Like what do they get out of it? It's clearly not youth. So like what's the point?
Right, there's no young people in this cult that's worth
Yeah, like
mentioning. There's no
what
young
do you get out
people.
of it? Like
Interestingly enough, so when ultimately, guys, just to round it out, so once we get into this circle and we see what's going, we see Sal and he's conked out. Which, by the way, I want to ask you: do you think Sal was in on this? Do you think he knew what any of this was?
I don't think so.
Because he was also drugged and put to sleep.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, I
I'm
don't think
gonna
so.
I'm gonna say he didn't know what was going on. He's out. He's completely out. But he's prepped for the ritual, and there's all these old people in the circle. And Aitana comes out because she's looking for the baby. They
And she
have the
hears him
baby.
crying,
And this is when we see that pig come out again. And I was thinking,
which
oh my
why
god, the
I don't
pig
know.
ate the baby. So, um, but old Father Nick tells her, basically, it's your baby, or you tell us where Nadia is. We don't want to do this. And he says that. He's like, I don't want to do this either, but there has to be a sacrifice, and it's either going to be the baby or it's going to be Nadia. And finally, Aitana's in this terrible situation. To save the baby, she finally has to surrender Nadia.
Hmm.
And so they go and they give her the baby. In the process, Father Nick, he cuts his hand. She has her cut on her hand that she got previously trying to open that box. He does a blood handshake, which I'm like, that's how diseases spread. But then he smears her face with blood, and it's just like, which then all the old people do. And I was just like, does that mean that she's now part of their cult because they've done this? They've done the blood smear on her.
I don't know. But again, I come back to it. This is just doesn't make sense because not that I want anything to happen to the baby, but the baby meets the criteria for the
A
actual
truly loved child.
sacrifice. He's a truly
Yes.
loved and cherished child, whereas Nadia is not. So I'm like, okay, this is a dumb cult.
Veronica's like, logistically speaking.
This
um,
does not
so
fly.
so they
So,
so they they bring out Nadia, they prep her for the ritual, and you honestly think, oh my god, they're gonna, slit her throat and go through with it. And then at the last minute, Aithana's crying and holding your baby, and she's like, I just want this to be a bad dream. I just want to wake up. And she counts down from 3, and then boom, she wakes up in her
mm.
bedroom. And what were you thinking at that point? Were you like, oh, is this gonna be like a not terrible ending? Like, is this gonna be a happy ending? A weird
Yeah,
happy
I was
ending?
starting to think for a minute that, but I needed to see her hand because if she had the cut on her hand, then I would kind of know
Yeah, yeah.
that
Uh,
all of it happened. But then
Initially,
also because her parents were so like total
total
flipped in their
turnaround,
attitude, like it was a total not a
reversal.
360 because then you're right back where it's a total 180.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They're happy, they're chipper, they're cuddling with the baby, and they're
Baby. Yeah, and and
and so
and
that was like okay, something's not right. This is
I really, when like, because I was so horrified. The scene right before where they're prepping for the witch ritual, and they're preparing to slit Nadia's throat, and then at the last second Nadia opens her eyes, so she's going to be cognizant and awake for all of that. And I was just like, I was like this at the screen. I was like, no, 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 no. And then when she wakes up, I was like, oh my god, thank god. Like, it was all a dream. It was all a
Mhm,
dream. And so, yeah, when you're seeing her parents be so friendly, and they're inviting her out. I got a little bit weirded out, and my first inclination that maybe this wasn't on the up and up was when she goes out to talk to her father, and her father puts the pig face on the grill, and I was just
mhm,
like, I don't know. She goes out to the field where the ritual had been to sort of see if she sees any evidence that had
mhm.
happened, and she doesn't see anything. So I was thinking,
And the whole time I was waiting for like Nadia to enter the room, and then you would know that yes, it was a dream. Okay, but
yeah, yeah. And then when Gabby tells her, "Did you hear what happened to Nadia?" And she's like, "What?" And she goes, "Well, they caught her stealing from everybody." Or no, no, no.
she
She
just stole and left.
stole from everybody
It
and left.
disappeared.
That
Yeah.
was when I was like, "Oh, crap, it wasn't a dream."
Mhm.
It wasn't a dream.
And
And
because
so
then her brother Saul, shows that he can with
he
crutches, but he can
suddenly
get
he's
up and
moving, he's
take some
walking.
steps. And
Yeah. And you see this horrified realization come on her face that sure enough, it wasn't a dream, and she's aware of it. And it's just like, I thought that ending was really cool. I didn't see that coming, and I thought it was a really nice way to end it.
mm.
And
I
it
just
made
don't know. Like, do her parents honestly expect her to just,
go with the flow.
yeah, like
Yeah.
not bring this up and not
Right.
say what the hell did you get involved with? And
Because isn't she like, is she a doctor? For some reason, I got the sense that she did something in the medical field, but maybe not. I don't know why I
she
thought
talks
that.
about helping people, and they call her like I think
Social justice
social
warrior.
justice warrior. So but yeah, I mean, like, do they honestly think that she's not gonna remember? Are they thinking maybe they drugged her enough that she's just not gonna have any memory that any of this happened?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it was just very bizarre that you would not expect her to question or bring this up or
Right.
have
Right.
some kind of like what the hell reaction
And
going
again,
forward.
it's just enough of the ending is just enough of a neat little bow that I guess if you are Aitana, you are left wondering, what is your reality? What am I imagining? And so you could there's I could see a world in which Aitana convinces herself that what she thought she had experienced was all in her head. So you could see a world in which Aitana eventually puts this behind her and convinces herself that was just a really bad trippy dream, because she
Mm.
doesn't have any other evidence apart from like her hand and like what she's hanging on to in her mind. But if you don't trust your mind, then how do you know that what you experienced is real? So yeah, I don't
But
know.
again, I have to say Gabby is one unobservant life partner because at the end, I thought even seeing her brother walking, she doesn't smile. She's very clearly like not okay.
Yeah,
And Gabby's
she's
just over there
disturbed.
leaning on her just with that little
She's
smile
just
on her
like,
face, like, oh, everything's hunky dory.
look
Isn't
at our
life
amazing
grand?
lives. Da,
Yes,
da,
like
da,
it's like, are you not picking up on your partner's vibes at all?
da. Where would you rank this one on the light switch scale?
It wasn't really scary, scary.
No,
Like, I don't
no.
know,
As a matter, like
maybe one light switch.
yeah, it's very it's thriller, but
Hmm.
in terms of, and there's disturbing images, sure, but yeah, jump scares, no. Horror, I mean, thankfully, I
Yeah.
for where I thought this was gonna go, it's not as horrific as I thought it was gonna be. It was just like, "Oh my god." And then I was thinking as the movie progressed and I became further and further in belief that this was gonna turn out to be a cannibalistic situation, I was like, "But Veronica specifically doesn't wanna watch movies about cannibals." Like,
I
what have I
never got
thrust her
that.
into?
I mean, I can see where you got that, but I never entertained that thought at all.
Well, because I was just thinking, in the modern era, what are stories around these kind of old people cults about? Like, it's usually it's unless you want to go the full realm of believing it's some sort of fountain of youth thing, which you could totally do, but the more, I guess, the other route that would be devoid of like something supernatural or magical, mythical, is that it's like these are just freaking psychos who want to kill and eat human meat. So I don't know.
Mm.
I was just thinking like from a modern practical standpoint, these people probably don't believe that there's some fountain of youth. They probably just want to eat human flesh. So I don't know. But
What
yeah,
I
it
also
was
thought was interesting, not related to the plot of the movie at all, but just, in the subtitles, it kept switching like, okay, like this was said in Catalan and this was said in Spanish and this was said in Portuguese. And
yeah,
so
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like,
Yeah, and then
I
you had
mean,
some people in the dinner party who were like from Germany and some people
well,
who
that's not
were
even the dinner party. That's just even when like Aitana's talking with her family. It's like it would say Spanish here and Catalan here and Portuguese here. And I'm like, okay, well, I mean, guess maybe people this was a Spanish movie, right? From Spain.
was Spain, yeah. But
I
but
guess
it's
they
like
understand all three dialects.
Aitana and Gabby were coming from Brazil.
Brazil. Hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, they're yeah, you could see them potentially speaking that as well. But yeah, there was a lot of language, a lot of different dialects coming in
And
this
then at the
movie.
end, Nadia like she's so freaked out
Dropped
she's
in.
resorting to Romanian. So
Right, 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 yeah. I was like, "That's how you know she's terrified." She's just dropped into her home
mm.
language. Um, yeah, it was a good one. If you have not seen this one, it's definitely worth a watch. It's interesting.
Not a
Not
strong Christmas movie. I don't think
Yeah, like,
really.
other than the fact that this seems to take place over Christmas Eve, there's nothing Christmassy about it. Other
Yeah.
than I guess if you count, like, here's another coming home to meet the in-laws kind of horror movie, but, as you just pointed out, Gabby's oblivious for much of the movie, so it's
Hmm.
not her horror, it's Aithana's horror. Coming home to your estranged family for the holidays. But, yeah, it's definitely worth watching, and this one came out in 2023,
Hmm.
so it could have easily have fallen off some people's radar, but, I liked it. I liked it. Definitely a pleasant surprise. I was kind of anticipating I was gonna have a hard time with this one, but this one was enjoyable. So, give it a watch. Um, and then think that did you have anything else you wanted to say about it, Ron?
Mm,
Do we hit all the points?
well, that was
Did
it.
I hit all the points? Yeah, I
I
think
just
I
think
had
it
it.
probably could have cut out. I don't know, maybe 10 minutes. I just think it was dragging out like dragging it out a little too long. I
Did
was
you
like,
have you had mentioned specific things you wanted to talk about in the last 20 minutes. Do we talk about them or
yeah,
um
it was
yeah.
just the Nadia being the red herring and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Baal is stupid as a
Yeah.
god.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you that it's like it does drag a little bit. You do kind of want them to get to the resolution a little bit sooner. And like I said, a lot of the resources we've linked for you guys kind of reflect the same thing, that it's like there's only so much you can keep running the same carrot on a stick before you need to just sort of get to it. But other than that, yeah, it was good. So okay, well then I guess we can jump into second segment. Before I ask Ronnie anything, we just want to remind you guys that we have chosen our next book for Don't Watch at Night book club. We're going to be reading Children of Chicago by Cynthia Pelayo, and you can find out more information about it on our website if you go to don'twatchatnight.com. So we're going to be reading through that over the holidays, and then we will have a book club discussion episode for you guys at the end of January. So stay tuned for that. Veronica, I was going to ask you, is there anything you're looking forward to this holiday season? Either, stuff to do, movies to watch, whatever. Anything that you're excited about?
Mm, no, I mean, I'm still waiting. I'm still hoping to get in the Christmas. Like, we just went and got a Christmas tree today.
Oh, nice. And you guys go and get a live one.
Yeah. So we'll be putting that up. There was a corner of the living room that's hidden by the love seat, unless you walk around that way. But if you're just in the main part of the living room, that's obscured from view. And so, because we were cleaning today, because we've been so busy, we kind of got behind on cleaning. And Robert found a big trash bag there that was full of Christmas wrapping paper from last Christmas.
Okay. Well, and you said your tree upstairs is still up, so
Yeah.
hey, what one less thing to do, right? so,
So yeah, just got to start putting the decorations up.
Yeah.
And
all right. Well, guys, the only thing other thing that we wanted to share with you, which probably this might even get thrown into like an after the show clip instead of just part of this episode because it's such a weird random tag on. But we wanted to share with you guys something that popped up this past week in the LA Times de Los section. It was a piece where the big quote was Eva Longoria commenting on the status of Latina representation on screen. And the bigger takeaway, I think, from that piece is that they do reference the 2025 Hollywood Diversity Report that came out earlier this year, back in February. So we've linked that. We've linked that for you guys, so you can go see that report in full. But I am just going to read to you a little bit from this piece, just so you get a sense of what that report showed us. So it says, according to UCLA's 2025 Hollywood Diversity Report, 1% of Latino performers were leading roles in top theatrical films, and 4.3% of Latino directors and 2.1% of Latino writers were involved in last year's top films. The report, released in February, found that the proportion of people of color working in entertainment roles dropped in every area from 2023 to 2024. There was a marked drop when compared with white counterparts. So actors of color made up 25.2% of lead roles in theatrical films, and that's down from 29.2% in 2023. Directors of color were 20.2% of 2024 movies, compared to 22.9% the prior year. So I looked at both of those reports. The film, they do two reports. They do one on theatrical film, and they do one on streaming. So I looked at both of those, and I think what is evident is that the desire for diverse stories and casting are still very much there. Specifically, Black and Latinx audience goers are still very much the buyers of tickets and the people who are boosting the film industry at the box office. So and the report also showed that like diverse stories and diverse casting do still have global appeal. So there's really all the incentive in the world for Hollywood to stop sucking at this and quit leaving money on the table and actually continue to have diverse stories and diverse casts and diverse people behind the camera as well. So we've linked that for you guys in our show notes, and you can take a look at it. But yeah, that's everything I had. Ron, is there anything else as we close out? Because this is our final, like new recorded episode for you guys this year. The next episode you get this in the month of December will be like a compilation episode for you to enjoy. That'll come out Christmas week. So Ron, this is the last that they'll be hearing from us in a live recording. Is there anything you want to say to people closing out? Well wishes, what have you? Reflections?
No, just the year went fast, which is good in some ways. So I can't believe we're already at the end. So I just
Mhm.
hope that 2026 was not too, you know, not too terrible for most people, and of course that everybody treat each other kindly
Yeah.
and respectfully, and take care of yourselves.
Mhm.
And heading into the new year, just the usual
Yeah. Yep, yep,
good wishes. Hang in
yeah.
there.
Hang in there. We
Tie a knot at the end of the rope and hang in there.
Yeah, above all, we wanna wish you guys, just a peaceful season, find joy wherever you can, but protect your peace at all costs. And that yeah, that's everything that I would wanna say too. We just wanna thank you guys so much for continuing to listen and spending another year with us. We hope you enjoyed it, and we look forward to seeing you in 2026. So, all right. Thank you so much for listening, friends, and we will see you again soon.